Greetings. Today I would like to show you an interesting game which I recently played but I didn't manage to record. So I will show you the review and analysis of positions. This game is interesting because of the nice checkmate and also the choice of the opening. I played Sicilian Gambit and where the white sacrificed pawn for the initiative, and I managed to uh, like put pressure on the opponent and force him to make mistakes. So in this game, so I have amazing accuracy, so 96%, and two great moves and only one mistake. So I start with e4, the opponent plays c5, dc, or pawn d4, and he captured the pawn. I offered the second pawn, and he captured that pawn too, so I recaptured with a knight, knight c6, then knight f3, d6, and so after d6 it's important to play h3. Because otherwise the opponent may pin your queen and knight. And the opponent play e6. Actually, after that, h3 is not important, not that important anymore. Maybe waste of time. But anyway, I did it because of d6. So I played bishop c4 and he played knight f6. So right now my moves are automatic, so I need to move my queen on e2, castle and rook d1. And all three moves are considered as good. The opponent also, meanwhile, castle, develop his position, and finally I play rook d1, so the opponent had to move his queen to c7. Then I develop my bishop, so the last piece which I need to develop, the engine suggests bishop g5. I preferred bishop f4 to provoke black to move pawn e5, and he did. He made this mistake. Now the situation looks like Chelyabinsk variation in Sicilian defense. But in Chelyabinsk variation, you need to move bishop g5, exchange the trade with a knight, trade your bishop with a knight, and then occupy the nice position d5 by the knight, and the position of black or white would be comfortable. However, I'm not that familiar with Chelyabinsk system or variation. This is why I decided, besides the opponent may be very familiar with that, therefore I wouldn't play with Sicilian defense specialists, Chelyabinsk variation. Therefore I played bishop e3 in order to be able to attack the square b6 if he plays a6. So he plays h6, and this waste of time. I played rook c1 to control the file c, and he has to move with his queen to b7. Actually, this position of queen looks bad in this case, but in fact queen controls the all queen side by that way. So when white start attacking, the black queen will actually play its important role. So a3, a6. Every time I make a move, so the opponent tries to prevent something, prevent my next move. So he prevents my move b5 in advance by playing a6. The engine suggests bishop e6. Finally, he plays it, and I play bishop d5. Actually, I think the best was to take the bishop, And the agent actually thinks that way. But that moment I was thinking maybe he will take my bishop with capture my bishop, so I will be able to capture with the pawn and play knight e4 and knight b6 to block his rook and put my knight on the sixth line. Okay, so right now the black plays rook d8. I don't know, it's not very obvious why it's a mistake, but it should be a mistake because in fact I'm gonna take the bishop, and after that I attack the pawn with the knight, and rook actually doesn't play and only prevent the queen to protect the king. So he found a very nice move, actually the only move by the king. King needs to be brave to participate in this defense. However, it's a great move according to the engine. So he plays like a computer. My opponent plays like a computer, which is interesting. So I played g4, and this also good move according to the best move according to the engine. So the idea is to attack the square g5, and right now I decided not to try to get the pawn d6 back. So I didn't concentrate on attacking on d6 because he protects it very well, and he can move his knight to e8 to protect it more. I decided to start attacking his weak points like e6 and g5 right now. So rook d7, and the opponent underestimates the threat by the pawn, because right now there's only one. Okay, actually this is not the best, only one good answer, and after that I can make a check. I don't need to take the pawn. So right now the best is to take the pawn, and the queen captured the black pawn with a check and the threat to take the rook. The knight returns back, protecting the rook, and then white plays knight d5. And every move is a great move after that. So queen protects the rook, then it's a nice variation with sacrificing the rook for the knight. The engine finds this move is brilliant. First three great moves, now brilliant move. Then knight takes the knight. It's again great move. If the pawn take, then it will be king g2, and rook will attack the king. King moves, then rook attack moves on the file G. Then after that, so there's a move by the pawn h5, knight h4, and d5, and queen check, and it will be a checkmate attack, or it will be attack which brings the white a lot of advantage. So bishop moves, knight check. Then in that case, if the if the king moves, it will be further checkmate attack. So king moves, check, and I don't understand why I cannot check this way, or it will be one move checkmate actually. Yeah, this is one move checkmate, even better. So therefore taking the knight with a pawn is a mistake, so the only way is to take with a bishop, and then it will be at check again, sacrificing the knight, and after pawn captures the knight, black or white attacks the black king, and then check with a rook. And after that, the position of black is not so good, because it will be another great move. So you see one great move by another, and the position of black is stuck, because after, for instance, this variation, so take, the queen moves to g4 with a checkmate at, oh no, it's not yet this. So rook attacks the pawn, and then this rook must move back, because of the attack the pawn and queen, threat to the to win the queen on c8. So the black needs to move the rook, and then okay, bishop moves. Actually, here is a variation with queen g4, but this variation estimated as not as good. So bishop moves, then bishop attacks the rook, and rook tries to exchange. So this variation is not that obvious about. I mean, the result is not obvious, but the attack is very interesting. To sacrifice the rook for the knight first, and knight for the pawn, and take the capture the rook in the end. I actually don't know why white think, okay, white should win here. Yeah, if bishop moves here, of course, it's only way to protect rook d6. But it's obvious the position of black is not so cool, and so queen g8, queen g4, queen f8. Now queen check, king moves, move back. Okay, I think it will be two checks, because the engine likes to perform checks. The main idea, I think, it will be bishop. Queen. Okay, queen attack the queen attack, and now it will be take, and white has an extra bishop. But this variation is very complicated and not very obvious. In fact, it's long and not very obvious in terms of what to do. Okay. So, but after, so in fact, in that variation, white at least should get should win. However, that variation with knight e5 is not that obvious, because at least it's very difficult to play on the level of chess fans, maybe for the grandmaster or for the computers the position is cool, but not so obvious for me. I wouldn't find even a half of those moves most likely, and my opponent wouldn't find moves for protection. Anyway, so let's consider the main variation that happens in the game, and the opponent take my pawn, and now it was knight g5 check, and the right move was to play rook e f8, knight f6, and after that basically white win the rook in exchange of the knight. Then queen moves here, and it turns out that there's no pieces on the king side, so the one who comes first wins the game. So knight d5, queen, knight attack the king, king check, queen check. So this moves are actually necessary to bring some pieces on the king side first. But there is a check again. Take. Rook protects, and in this position, blacks need to protect the rest of the game, but in fact, white already has material, has extra material, and white will just need to technically realize that material. White has advantage, just need some time to win the game. So maybe I think king move to h2, king move to f1 and e2. Queen, rook c3. So the idea is to move the rook further. So I don't want to continue this variation, so obviously white has advantage. Let's go back. So my opponent probably saw that the rook will be lost. This is why he chose the variation with he didn't want to move his king. He didn't want to move his king to f8 because he can calculate very fast that after this move it will be check. If he moves here, it will be another check, and he moves back, it will be another check, and etc. etc. Oh, it will be not the check here. It will be it should be something else. The knight moves here. Yeah, this is not very nice position for black when all pieces are on the queen side. So black will get a check with on the queen side. The black will get a checkmate on the king side, because king side is not protected by anything. Some stuff like that. Okay. Therefore, so anyway, it's not very nice position for black. Therefore, black decided that they can survive. The king can survive on g6, but you need to notice that f7 and h7 are controlled by my knight. So, therefore, the king will not be able to return to the 8th line, and it is expected that white will win sooner or later, and actually very soon. So my opponent didn't think about that, only thought about material most likely. So what next? So queen tried to protect, and it is check, and then king moved to that bad. He made the worst move in this position, king h6, and got a checkmate immediately. This is this interesting checkmate with a double check. So on one side the knight attack and queen can take it, but there is a discovered check by the bishop, and if only the bishop attacks, it will be g5. But now there is no g5. Right now there is no g5, so because the knight attacks too, so it's a double checkmate. Therefore, it's surprisingly the best move for black is king h5, and in this case, the knight, the check with the knight, the check with the queen doesn't work because of g5, and white protects for some time. So, but however, white has a move by. Okay, instead of the checking with a knight, white has a chance to maybe e2. What about e2? In case of e2, it will be in case of e2, black king will be able to escape. So it should be the move which actually decisive move in this position. In case of g6, so knight can win there. So white can win there. Knight, or actually bishop in this case. This why g6 is not acceptable. The best is knight takes. Knight takes the d5, and then queen check. King moves. Queen check again. Black king moves back. Queen f3. So what the black supposed to do is play g6 again. If in case of g6, it will be nothing special. Move here, and queen g3. I don't understand what the engine suggests. Queen g3 is definitely not good. Soon it should be a draw. But in that case, white of course finds some way. And in the case of rook f8, check. King moves. The point is I think it's some variation which is not okay. In case of knight takes d5, so it will be check, and after this check, I think that white takes a pawn, and in case if rook moves away, it will be a checkmate. So the rook cannot move away. It should be rook f8, and the queen basically takes the knight, or takes the rook, and the game is over. So you see that in all variation except one, except initial knight h5, so in all variations the black supposed to lose in this game, and in some variations the number of great and brilliant moves is fantastic, but these moves are great for the computer. Anyway, these moves belong to that position, therefore they are very beautiful, very interesting. I hope you like this game. I hope you like my attack and final combination. See you next time. Bye bye.